Another FA Cup final is set, and we have Manchester City for the 4th consecutive season playing in the FA Cup final. They take on Chelsea. Chelsea, with all the struggles they've had this season, 4 coaches already this season. McFarlane twice, and of course Maresca, sandwiched by Maresca and Liam Rosenau. 4 coaches already this season, and yet they are still in the final of a major tournament. Well, that club should take their shade. But whatever it is, it's now Chelsea against Manchester City. But before we get into the final, let's talk about how they got into the final. Let's talk about Chelsea, because Chelsea was the most doubted team coming into the semi-final. We didn't think that they had what it took to actually do it. So let me ask Alex. I mean, I've got Alex and Shola here, of course. Let me ask Alex. Were you impressed by what Chelsea did? Some will say that they managed. Some will say that they struggled and made it into the final, scored an early goal, and then had to just keep it tight and all that. But were you impressed by the performance of Chelsea on Sunday?
Sincerely speaking, they did well. As a matter of fact,
one goal.
Yes, there's nothing like one goal. Victory is victory. It might be 1-0, it might be 2-0, it might be 3-0, it might be 4-0. A team that have played 5 matches without a goal, now playing against Leeds City that defeated them at the last league match 3-0 at the semi-final. This is one thing I always say. No matter how the situation, this is football. Football is unpredictable. Nobody ever believed Chelsea will be the one to beat Leeds City 1-0 at the FA Cup semi-final. And sincerely speaking, look at the boy. There's something I said. As a coach, you must have a good relationship with your players. There are some things you need to tell your player that you put into them, that they will go in and give it the best. Look at how the players play. It shows these people they are up to the task. Something is missing in that team, and what is missing in that team is back. The second half of the game, they came back into the game. Let's try and coordinate this defense line. Let's manage it to 90 minutes to get the victory. And as a coach, once you're having a very good relationship, a very good approach to your players, it will be easier for them to go in and give you the victory. Another thing is this: when a coach is tactically sound, it shows.
Are you saying McFarlane is more tactically sound than Liam Rosenau?
No, we all know that. As you can see, he's far better than he's tactically
found that 23 coach.
Yes, it might be an under 23 coach, it might be a senior team coach, but once you are tactical, there is nothing you can say to that.
Shola, let's talk about the changes that McFarlane made, especially in that defense line. We know that one of the major problems of Chelsea has been that defense line. He took out Fofana. We thought that Fofana was the best and the first choice defender for Chelsea, that if we were going to pick one person out of the defense pool for Chelsea, that one person is going to be Fofana. But then we saw him drop Fofana, use Adra Abioyo and Chaloba, and get their first clean sheet in over a month.
Yeah, firstly, I was assuming he used Tosin because of the area threat of Calvin Lewin. So we will be able to contest with him and win so many duels, and I guess that worked. I won't really see Chelsea give a very spectacular performance, and I don't know. People might not expect this from me. I'm a little bit disappointed in them, because
coming from 5 consecutive defeats and no goal.
No, I'm disappointed.
What do you think that really, Chelsea fans would take any kind of win?
Yeah, we will take
as long as they win, like Alex said.
But hope they have it at the back of their mind that they are one of the reasons we won't be playing the Champions League next season.
Them or Liam Rosenau?
The players. I mean, because see, let's be sincere with ourselves. I'm not a coach. I have little understanding about football, but I believe regardless of the tactics you are deploying in a match, you need intensity. You need players to throw themselves around. The really simple reason why we won yesterday was because we wanted it more. We needed it more. They wanted to show the fans that we can win games. So where is that performance? Where was that performance really bright? Fine, I understand this. Probably the structure Liam Rosenau is giving you is not really palatable for the players, but you have to put intensity. You have to. They were winning the second balls yesterday. I was like, look at this team.
So what happened before?
It's very simple. They didn't give their 100% in the games. It was obvious. Look at the way they were playing yesterday. They were fighting for every ball. They were trying to win every ball. They were trying to bulldoze the defender. So if you don't,
are we sure that they wouldn't have given this under Rosenau like final assessment?
If Liam Rosenau had coached yesterday, they would have still lost. because they lost hope in they don't believe in the system anymore.
Because I thought maybe it was about they want to be in the final, not
Yeah,
about
they want
who was in charge.
They want to be in the final. It's about they wanted to be in the final, and they want to show the fans that see the major reason why we haven't been playing so well is because the original was bad. I don't understand. I fail to understand that. Even if the coach was bad, put the efforts, put the work ethics, put the grit.
Shola, I disagree with what you said.
Okay.
Player can only put in their effort. Do you remember they are playing to coach instruction? They are playing to coach formation, and they are playing to the coach the tactics the coach is giving them to play. They are playing to that. So it is not possible for them to switch.
That was how I said. I understand.
So we don't have this player to blame.
Even if you play the best tactics in the world, if you don't put the work, if you don't put the desire, if you don't put the hard work, you won't win.
If you are playing football, you want to get the best result in football. Best result in football, best pattern in football is when you play attacking football. But when you're not playing attacking football, how do you get the result? And when coach is not giving them the instruction to play attacking football, what do you expect? Don't expect any miracle, any magic from the player.
I'm not saying they should do miracle, but put in the work. We considered the same set of goals, the same set of goals for like 4 matches. The same. And it was simply because, it's not because the coach was bad. It was simply because players refused to point people out. Players refuse to pin out people. People are running behind players, and I don't really doing anything about it.
All right, one of the changes that McFarlane also did was play Domologo Garnacho. So how would you rate? Do you think that Otimono? How do you rate Garnacho?
Well, so far so good. I can't rate him yet.
He played well.
He played well. Let's him play more two or three more matches to the end of the season, and let's see what comes out from it.
The Chelsea fans.
Garnacho.
Do you get Chelsea because he plays well? You don't trust him. He doesn't play well.
No, because you are not be consistent. You are talking about consistent.
If you actually played well, you won't be hacked out.
Yeah, if a player is consistent, we all know that
he didn't play well. I saw him do one or two.
No.
You can't use that one to
I can't remember a particular moment Garnacho faced an opposition and dribbled the opposition yesterday. So for them to take you out and put Neto, a left-footed player, in that left,
and coming to perform much for better than him.
I thought maybe Garnacho did well. But
yeah, I'll give him a 40 all over.
I'm still expecting him to do more.
It's still failure. Okay, let's talk about Manchester City. Well, Manchester City, remember when we were previewing the semi-finals? I said something. I said the problem on paper, we said that Man City, defeat Southampton, but the problem was going to be the amount of changes that Manchester City would do. And we saw Guardiola probably overdo it on Saturday because he made 9 changes. I thought maybe it's a semi-final. I thought maybe you make 4 or 5 changes, but he made 9 changes to the players that played Arsenal the previous weekend. Only Matheus Nunes, I think Nicolo Gonzalez and Checky. I think only Checky and Matheus Nunes. No, right back. He brought in an artillery left back. Didn't sound O'Reilly. So only Matheus Nunes right back and Checky started.
No, Artillery played. Didn't
Artillery did not play against Arsenal. He played against Southampton. It was O'Reilly that played left back. Yeah. So 9 changes was too much, and we saw that it almost exploded in his face. 81st minute, he was behind. He had to bring in the guns again, bring in Doku, bring in Semenyo, bring in Alad, bring everybody in.
That's super sub.
And then, everything changed. Was it too complacent?
Yeah, the complacency was there, but I understand if you're talking about quality, it wasn't like the starting lineup was so bad. The only problem was that they started some few players that didn't have much game time, like Kovacic, and some few players that weren't really playing into it. So it wasn't, they weren't on their 100%.
On paper, it was not a bad starting level. We still had Mahmoud,
it wasn't bad.
We still had Sadio, we had Foden, we had Tijani Renda. You would say that Kovacic. You would say that there were good names. And the defense line, I think they had Ake and somebody. I think maybe Stones or something. So on paper, you said that it was still a decent,
I'm not sure that starting lineup would have won that game.
But
the changes gave them.
But in practical sense, it was a horrible.
It was a horrible one.
So now what I'm saying is that era over? That era where Mourinho said that the best Manchester City team is the first team, the second Manchester City team is the second team. Is that era over? Is Manchester City now like every other team where your best players are your starting level? Once you start looking to the bench, you know, before we used to have Mahrez starting, Sané on the bench, Sterling starting, you know, another Eruku on the bench.
Yes.
It looks like that era is over now. City is like every other team. Their best player at the 11. The bench players are fringe.
But personally, I feel the game changer for them yesterday was, and the game changer have been saying their games that kind of give them this spectacular touch in attack was Doku. Immediately they brought in Doku. Doku is fearless. He can go. He can
dribble. He can know how to.
They always had that spectacular touch in Doku.
He's a game changer.
It's almost impossible.
And he would always attract players to himself.
Exactly.
And he's relentless. He will keep going. He will keep going. Regardless, if you are 2, you go against.
He's flexible.
Instantly they brought in Doku. They were able to.
The game position changed.
They were able to pin them backward. So it's not like they don't have good players, but when we are talking about a lineup that has been playing continuously, so
the key is the game
that lineup will be better.
Okay, we're into the final, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea against Manchester. Can Chelsea hope in the final?
They will turn up with their best. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but they will give their best.
Well, we wait until when the final comes to preview fully the final. But for now, congratulations to Manchester City. 4th consecutive. We can now call the FA Cup the Manchester City Cup, because I mean 4 consecutive finals. They deserve to be. It deserves to be named after them. So Manchester City in the FA Cup final for the 4th consecutive time, taking on Chelsea, trying to salvage their season. There may be no Champions League football, there may be no Europa League football, but who knows? They can come from the window, you know, through the FA Cup final. But then, when it comes to the final, we'll talk about that.